All right, what is up, everybody? My name is Buccubus, and welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to be reacting to a video called Women Are Mad That Men Stopped Approaching. Today we're going to react to this. I'm going to give my thoughts. The original video is going to be linked down below. Make sure you guys go show some support to the creator. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and let's see what they're talking about.
Men do not want to approach women anymore.
When was the pivotal moment that a man chose to not go after a girl anymore and put in any effort? Like when you're
Okay, so you want to know the pivotal moments where a man stopped approaching? I can give you 4. Okay, number 1 was that women deemed that a man that comes up to them, if he's not attractive, if he's not 6 foot tall, if he doesn't make 6 figures, and if he doesn't have 6 inches, that he is creepy and a harasser. Okay, there are women that have said that. Okay, I'm not saying all women, but I am saying unfortunately, the vocal majority of women have felt that way and have said that, okay? So they said for men to stop approaching. Men stopped approaching. The second elephant in the room is the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement, while everybody likes to claim it had good intentions behind it, whether or not those intentions were good, I don't know. But I can say this, there was a lot of men that were falsely accused during that time, okay? If you had Twitter, that's what it was back then. If you had Twitter, you guys remember all the false accusations that were getting proven to be false on the Me Too movement side. All that little hashtag Me Too crap backfired because I wouldn't say all of it, but a lot of it was fake. Was just fake. It was false accusations against men. Okay. The third pivotal moment for a man. Okay, this is the third. The rise of social media. Okay. The rise of social media like dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, these types of things were designed to hurt men, not help men. So the designs of these dating apps provide easy access for women. Remember, Bumble used to be free for women. They used to be able to message for free, whereas a man had to pay to get those features. Again, it showcases kind of the hypocrisy. Now, granted, from what I've heard, Bumble is not the same. I don't use dating apps, but I am aware of what dating apps are. Apps like Tinder, right? The notorious hookup app. We'll get into that here in a second. A lot of these apps favorite women more because women swipe on the top 1% of men, where the top 1% of men are really only looking for some coochie lips, right? Whereas a majority of men are not looking for coochie lips, they're looking to date, right? Or to marry. Unfortunately, the top 1% of men get the most action because, again, they're the top 1% for reasons. Whereas an average guy does not get as much popularity as the Chad, okay? The third pivotal moment. Actually, I think this is the third or fourth. I can't remember. This, in my opinion, is a very important aspect as to why dating is dying, and that is hookup culture. No longer did a man have to commit to you to get your sugar yams. Instead, what he could do is get your sugar yams and not commit to you. And because of that, what happened is you threw a bone and men took that bone, quite literally, right? So I'm not saying all women did this, but these are just a few of the things that contributed to men walking away, right? Now, as for the hookup culture aspect of it, remember how I said the top 1% of men. The top 1% of men are a very big part of the hookup culture. These top 1% of men are not looking to settle for you. They're looking to bang you, okay? I'm just going to be honest. The top 1% of men, these rich men, are not looking to settle for you. They're looking to get in between your sugar yams and then leave you, okay? That is a statistical fact, okay? You can't disprove that. It's true. A lot of men that have wealth have the ability to do this, whereas an average guy who works a 9-to-5 job makes $20 an hour is not going to be able to get your sugar yams and pay for them too. And we'll get into that too. Actually, we'll get into it right now. Another pivotal moment is the rise of OnlyFans and Fansly and these other pornographic websites that have developed. Now, hear me out. Here are why these websites are more problematic than things like Pornhub or stuff like that, right? Sites where you can just watch porn videos are not as problematic as sites where you can actually hook up with somebody, right? AKA the meetups. No longer does a man have to go on a dating app to meet up. A man can go on an OnlyFans, a Fansly, and there are ladies that have meets in their bios. These guys can pay, I think the last time I did my research into this, it was like $150 to like $200. The reason I did my research into this is because I like to research these kind of things. And plus, I also think that this kind of stuff should be illegal. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure what is happening is borderline prostitution, but unfortunately, the difficulty in it is right now it's not being enforced because it is prostitution. At the end of the day, it is exactly that. It's prostitution. You are paying for sexual services. Therefore, it's prostitution. Unfortunately, this has schemed under the radar on sites like Fansly, on sites like OnlyFans, and now there's even a workaround to that. Snapchat. There's a workaround. Snapchat or other communication devices like Kik and things like that. There's workarounds to this now. There are other places that you can now go to access this kind of stuff to hook up with people, right? The problem with this is that this has led a lot of the top 1% of guys that were on these apps like Tinder trying to hook up with people away from these apps, right? Now, I'm not saying that that is solely a majority of men. It's not. A majority of men are not looking for that, right? It is a very small percentage of men that follow hookup culture. The reason why it's relevant is because it is happening. Remember, I'm going to be completely unfair and unbiased in this, right? Or, well, I said unfair. I'm going to be completely fair and unbiased in this when it comes to this sort of discussion, right? Because I think you have to see both sides to understand what the problems are. So if I'm going to talk about the woman's side, guess what? I'm going to talk about the man's side too. I'm not going to sit there and pick on women in this video and not pick on dudes too, because then I would be a hypocrite, right?
You're out in public and you're making eyes with a girl and you're like making it known that you're attracted to her, but you're not gonna say something. How are you not gonna say something? It just doesn't make
It's really easy. So here's how I do it, right? If I find a woman attractive and I think she's really gorgeous, I keep on trucking. It's that simple. I keep on trucking. I have better things to do. It's more risk than I am willing to take at the moment.
Makes sense to me how women are not being asked out on dates. Like, there are so many beautiful women. Like, come on, like, just shoot your shot.
Okay, here's why. I'm going to answer your question because you asked a question. Women said XYZ is bad. Okay? If XYZ is bad, men are going to follow what women say. If women say XYZ is bad, then men are going to say, okay, hey, look, maybe XYZ is bad. Maybe I should just not do that. And that's what's happened. You have trained a society of men to believe that they're inherently bad, and that because of bad actors in the sphere, men are deserving of the hate that they get. And unfortunately, a lot of men have just checked out and said it's not worth it anymore. It's not worth it.
Unapproachable? Am I unapproachable?
Like, did you not see me just look right at you? Like, that was your sign. Like, that was...
Yes. Yes. One of the fellow body language believers. Now, see, here's where I have an issue with these body language claims, right? Okay. Women have notoriously said, just because I look at you doesn't mean I'm interested, correct? Women do say, just because I look at you, it doesn't mean I'm interested, okay? By your same logic, just because you've looked at me, it doesn't mean you're interested. So why, as a man, should I have to take you looking at me as a sign for me to approach you? You could just be glancing at me. That doesn't mean that you're interested. See, that's the problem. Women will say things like that, but then when they actually do it to, like, let's say a kind of like an average looking guy, and he approaches them, they get upset. Why are you upset? But here you are spewing that nonsense. Well, if I look at you, that's your cue. Well, that's the issue. The confusing statements. You got half women saying that, well, if I look at you, it means I'm interested. And then you've got the other half saying, well, no, just because I look at you, it doesn't give you the right to approach. So what's happening here is we have contradictions in said statements. So that is why men are not approaching you guys. You don't make sense. What you're saying versus what you're doing are two different things. You just don't make sense.
That was me shooting my shot.
No, because I had to actually sit.
Also, if that's the best you could do as a woman in terms of shooting your shot is looking at a man, then I've got news for you, sweetheart. You might need to reevaluate. I don't think that's working.
And think about this, and I had to ask myself, when is the last time a man came up to me and wanted to get to know me or exchange numbers? And it's been a long time.
Me and my friends go out and it's like, we end up plotting on what guy we think is cute, and then we physically, I'm not even joking, I'm sick to my stomach right now, we end up making the first move because
yeah, welcome to equality. Just straight up, like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. You guys wanted equality, correct? You guys, that was like a big thing with the modern feminist movement, which we'll cover the modern feminist movement as we continue. We're going to dive back into that too. But that's the big thing with the modern feminist movement, right? You guys wanted the destruction of traditional values, right? You guys wanted equality. Okay, well, you guys got that. you guys, you guys preach that men are inherently bad and that we are the sexual deviants, that the only thing we think about is your sugar yams. And while there are men out there like that, it's not all. And unfortunately, you've demonized men and you've caused men to back off and say, hey, look, if we're the bad guy, then we'll just stop. And that's the issue. You have trained a generation of men to believe they're the bad guy. And that's the issue. You literally, and this was like a thing on TikTok too. You have women raising their sons telling them that they're inherently bad because they have a set of balls. Like, you do realize that, right? There are women training men at a young age, telling them they're bad because they have a set of nuts. And I feel bad for those kids because they're going to grow up to believe that. See, that's the issue. That's the elephant in the room. You guys don't address what you guys have done to men. You don't address the things you said about men. You don't address the damage that women, and well, not just women, but feminism has caused this generation. You guys don't address that. You guys don't address it because it is the elephant in the room. And look, I don't have an issue with old school feminism, right? Which was about equality. It wasn't about being better than a man. It was about being equal to a man. I didn't have an issue with that. Okay, whatever. I still think that it's a little bit bogus because I don't think women are equal to men. You guys don't have to sign up for the draft. At 18 years old, I had to sign up for the draft. I signed my life away agreeing that I would go into the draft if they told me at any time I had to go in. Women don't have to do that. You guys don't know anything about that. Again, you can't really call it equality if women don't also have to be eligible for the draft. That's my opinion. I stand 10 toes down on that. How can we talk about equality when there is none? There is no equality. Where are the feminists in regard to that? You want to know why? Because it doesn't benefit them. It doesn't benefit them. They don't want to go to war, but they want a man to go to war. Anyway, we're getting off topic, but let's focus on the video instead.
Because if we didn't, it would be girls' night every single night we went out for the rest of our lives.
Where are the huevos? Where are the huevos these days?
Yes. For those who don't know what huevos means, it means balls, right? So let me ask you a question. What you're doing right now is you're insulting men. You're saying that men don't have balls because they're not approaching you. No. That's not it. It's not that a man doesn't have a set, that he's not approaching you. The reason that man is not approaching you is because it's easy for you to claim something else happened than it is for that man to get your number. Okay? It is far too easy for you to pull your phone out, record something out of context, call him a creep, talk about the audacity that he had to approach you to try to get your number. And don't get me wrong, you're not an ugly lady. Okay, you're not. But to sit there and insult men and say that it's an issue of them not having balls, you are completely downplaying what happens to men, and that is where you lose men. That is where men have lost respect for women because of things like this. You guys insult men instead of actually hearing out a man's side. That's the problem. Honestly, you might want to work on that.
I feel like there's so many times that guys want to say something to girls and they don't. Like, is there a guy watching this that can give us some insight? Like, why don't you just do it?
Because there is far more risk of me approaching you as a man than you approaching me as a woman, right? If I approach you as a man, there's a chance that you could deem it creepy. There's a chance that you could deem any advancement that I make, such as me calling you pretty. Maybe you're wearing some really nice clothes and I say, hey, you got some really nice clothes. It's really easy for you to then make it about, well, why are you looking at my body? Are you sexualizing me? See, these types of things happen, right? And because of this, it's really easy for you to call the police and accuse a man of sexual harassment or just harassment in general. And it's really easy for that man to get set up to lose, especially if you're with your girlfriends. It's really easy if they have multiple statements. If there's multiple statements, it's really easy for the police to arrest a man on that. It's really not that hard, right? And I'm not saying that it's a police issue. I'm saying that it's a women issue, right? It is really easy for women to lie. And it is. Historically, it's the court systems have proved this. A woman can lie. Okay, there's plenty of men that have went to prison that didn't do the crime. Okay, whether that is harassment, whether that's sexual harassment, and even as far as the extremes. Okay, there are men who did not do those crimes. Okay, there were men that were falsely accused in Me Too that didn't do those crimes. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that is why men are not approaching you. There's too much risk.
Why don't men approach anymore? It's a question that has been reverberating everywhere.
Yep.
But the answers aren't as simple as you might think. Let's dive into the reasons behind this shift.
All right, you see 3 girls sitting at the bar. And
you do not approach any of them.
You think the middle one is flaming hot and you're like, that's my girl. Do you walk over and talk to her or one of the other 2?
None
Exactly. None of them. It's too easy for them to make up a story. It's far too easy, right? Especially in a bar, because here's why. That's even more of a red flag, because if you approach a woman in a bar, it could be deemed as you're trying to take advantage of her because she might be intoxicated. So therefore, if you're approaching her, she might be inebriated and you could be taking advantage of her. The other risk is you pick her up, you take her home. Let's just say, hypothetically, you two do engage in intercourse. The next morning she wakes up, says, well, hey, I was drunk. I didn't know what happened. And then she calls the police on you. You're charged with rape, and you could potentially go to prison for that. See, these are the extremes that have happened. These things have happened. Otherwise, men would not talk about them. But these things have happened. These are real life scenarios that have happened to men. Name me the last time that a woman picked a guy up at a bar, took him home while he was inebriated, had intercourse with him. The guy called the police on her. She went to prison. Show me the evidence that that has happened anytime within the last 5 years. I challenge anybody that wants to contradict what I just said. Show me the proof, because I have not found that evidence. I have not seen that.
From the fear of rejection to the rise of online dating and shifting social expectations, there are a lot of factors at play. Let's break them down one by one.
There's an interesting set of stats that 86% of women say that they want a man to make the first move.
Yep.
50% of men are scared of making the first move for being seen as creepy. And 20% of Gen Z say that a man approaching a woman in person always or usually constitutes harassment.
There it is. There's your stats right there. 86% of women want men to approach. 50% of men are scared to approach. 20% of Gen Z says that approaching a woman is constituted always as harassment. There you go. The numbers don't lie, right? The statistics behind it don't lie, right?
Going up to a woman today is risky in so many ways.
Yep.
Let's start with one of the most common reasons, fear of rejection.
Okay, here's my issue with this fear of rejection part, right? It's not so much a fear of rejection, it's a fear of the outcome. Right? So, for instance, I have approached women and I have got told, look, I'm not interested. And that's fine. I say, okay, have a great day. And I go on about my day. But there's also the situation where you approach a woman and instead of her being nice about it, she's awful about it. So instead of her saying, you know, hey, I'm not interested. You're not my type. Instead, it becomes a situation where you're accused of being a creep. How dare you approach me? Do you think I'd ever date you? You know, the audacity to think that you're attractive enough to talk to me. Or the worst case, she pulls out her phone, makes up a complete lie on TikTok, posts it, and then the internet does what the internet does best with cancel culture and tries to cancel the guy and causes him to lose his job. These things can happen and have happened in the past. See, these are the things that unfortunately women don't talk about. And that is why men talk about them instead. That is why there's a lot of rise of like Andrew Tate, right? And I don't support the guy. I don't watch him at all. Okay. Whether or not he's guilty or innocent is not up to me to determine. It's up to a court, right? But I don't watch the guy, right? But I can sit there and I can say that I can understand why there are people who do. Because unfortunately, the rise of the red pill is a result of modern feminism. Modern feminism has driven men away from the cause and has pushed men into their own circle. And unfortunately, the circles that are available for men, unfortunately, are red-pilled. And that's where you have a lot of situations where, according to women, there's the rise of incels, right? I wouldn't so much call it incels as I would call it the rise of men going their own way, being done with women, you know, being tired of the accusations, being tired of all these expectations that we're expected to provide for you. We're expected to go to war for you. We're expected to come up and talk to you first. We're expected to do this and that. But what we're not expected to do is have the courtesy from you to not be called a harasser, not get our faces posted on the internet with the potential for us to get arrested. Like we don't get that same, like we don't get that same value from you.
Rejection is a man's biggest fear.
Why do men never approach
I think the outcome is the man's biggest fear, not the rejection.
Anymore?
Intimidation?
You do it a lot, like in person?
Hell no.
It is so fucking scary to me to approach a woman in public anymore after hearing all this stuff on the internet.
But see, he's not talking about the fear of rejection. He's talking about the fear of outcomes, right? I think both men were talking about the fear of outcomes. I think they're really noting the fear of outcomes. They're not noting that rejection in itself is intimidating. No, it's the fear of the outcome. It's the fear of what she might say after.
It just sucks being the guy because I always have to make the first move. Like, and then anytime I see a girl I like, whether it be at the bar or at the gym or something, I get so anxious. My heart starts beating so fast, and
I have that same issue. You want to know how I solved that issue? I stopped approaching women. I'm just gonna be blunt. I stopped approaching. I don't approach women anymore. I solved that issue.
I don't know what the hell to say to them.
Don't get me wrong. A fear of rejection.
If you don't know what to say, then just don't say anything at all. Like, I'm just gonna be straight up, man. You don't need a woman, dude. You look like you're doing pretty well for yourself. Don't worry about stuff like that. Worry about you, man.
Rejection is totally real. I feel like if I was a guy, that would be in my brain, and it would be something that I would have to overcome. But it would be a big thing to overcome.
It definitely is a big deal for men. Some women find cold approaches.
You know, there was I remember seeing this story like a few years ago of this lady. She decided that she was gonna like transition into a man, right? Like, I don't think she was like an actual trans person, but like she decided that she was going to dress up as a guy and go on dates, right? Because she believed it was easy for men to date, right? She ended up finding out how hard it was for a man. And I remember her quoting in an interview that it was the worst experience of her life being a man. Like, she said that like she actually grew to hate women because of that experience, right? And then not only that, but she unfortunately took her own life. And it showcases that there is a huge issue in just being a man. There is an issue somewhere where it caused somebody to take their own life. Excuse me. You know, that says a lot, you know? It just says a lot.
As flattering, while others see them as intrusive or unnecessary. This creates confusion for men, who are left wondering what the hell to do.
Do you want to be approached?
Leave us alone.
Leave you alone? Okay.
I just like peace.
Why do?
I mean, there it is right there. Where are the women, like, where are the 80% or 86% of women that want men to approach? Where are you guys? She's speaking on your behalf. She's saying that women don't want men to approach anymore. Where are the 86% of women? Where are you guys? Shouldn't you guys be like denying this claim? Shouldn't you guys be standing up for men saying, hey, men, this isn't true. She's not a part of us. We actually want you to approach. Where are you guys? See, that's the issue. The ones that want men to approach are quiet, while the ones that don't want men to approach are the vocal majority. And that's what happens. That's what has happened. Good women stayed quiet, bad women talk. And then what happens? Men see the bad women talk, they don't hear the good women talk, so they back off. They back off, and then they stop approaching. That's where we're at now. Good women have been too silent. Start speaking up. But honestly, I think the damage is done. I already think the damage is done.
Do men think it's appropriate to approach women in public?
Don't approach me in public unless I come to you.
Wow.
Or unless I give you an eye.
Let's be real. Some men have bad.
That is insane. So you expect a man to pick up on the fact that you're looking at him, and that is your way of indicating, well, hey, I want you to approach me. Well, here's the issue with that logic, right? Didn't you guys also say, just because I look at you, it doesn't mean I want you to approach? You guys said that, right? Just because I smile at you, it doesn't mean I like you, right? Like, didn't you guys say things like that? You did. Like, you guys said things like that. So if that's the case, then why is it that you guys also verbatim say the same crap that contradicts your own previous statements? And I'm not saying she has specifically said that, but I'm saying women in general. You guys will tell a man, don't approach me just because I smile at you. But then you'll also tell a man, well, if I smile at you means I want you to approach. But then you guys will also take it a step further. Well, if I talk to you, it doesn't mean I like you, right? Like things like that, right? To me, it's just it's such a strange concept. You guys say things that contradict each other, and it almost feels like there's no total agreement from women on what they actually want from a man. Instead, it just feels like a back and forth echo chamber.
Bad intentions during a cold approach, but most don't. It's simple. If you're their type, they want you to approach. If not, they don't.
Exactly. And that's what it comes off at. If you're a woman's type, she wants you to approach. If you're not her type, she does not want you to approach. The issue with this confliction is you have women telling men, well, if I look at you or I smile at you, I want you to approach. But there are women out there that also say, well, just because I smile or look at you, it means I'm just being nice. It doesn't mean I'm interested. So it's contradictory statements that train men to do certain things, but then not understand why, you know, basically it's too confusing for men. That there's no set standard. There needs to be a middle ground at which it is understood why a man approaches a woman.
I don't mind guys like coming up to me and talking to me. Let me be really real. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. She said she doesn't mind guys that come up and talk to her, right? Hold on, there's a but. You see her? She's getting ready to tell you the but. I have a prediction. 6 feet tall. 6 figures. Attractive. And they also like to say 6 inches. I'm willing to bet you she's going to say at least one of those.
If you are not tall, sexy.
There it is. We're 2 for 2.
With amazing chat. Don't waste your time.
Amazing chat. What does that even mean? What is amazing chat? What does that even mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, you want him to be interesting when he talks to you? I mean, I don't know. Amazing chat. What does that even mean? Like, are you saying you want him to like flirt with you? Is that what you're trying to hint at? Like, by amazing chat, like you have to be more specific. What are you expecting from a man in that chat? Are you expecting him to like, you know, like, are you expecting him to have good game? Like, if that's what you're expecting, I mean, I don't know. This whole like men have got to have game thing is crazy to me. Whatever happened to a man just walk up and say, hey, could I get your number? Like, that's game. Like you guys, like you want him to be able to like tell, like, it's almost like an ego thing at this point. You guys want a man to come up and like flirt with you, but tell you all the great things about yourself. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's so weird.
Exactly. And this is why men are hesitant to approach women now. Honestly, the only way to avoid this awkwardness might be for women to take the first step instead.
Women need to start making the first move.
Women are just gonna have to start shooting their shots. You gonna have to go for what you want because closed mouths is not gonna get fed anymore.
I mean, he's right. He's exactly right. Women are gonna have to start approaching.
Why don't women typically approach men?
Because of rejection.
If a woman chooses to approach a man and shoot...
Now, I'm gonna say this because I believe in honesty, right? This woman with the brown hair right here, if it came down to it, right, she would be my type. Like, I'm just gonna be completely blunt. She would be my type, right? She matches the normal characteristics of a woman that I would be interested in. The one on the right is not really... She's not really for me. I'm not insulting her. I'm not saying she's ugly, but in terms of attraction, I am not attracted to her. Now, the one on the left, yes, I would probably be more inclined to ask for her number. I'm just gonna be honest.
Shoot her shot, is she more or less likely to be rejected than if the man approaches a woman?
I feel like men are more likely to be rejected.
She's right. She's absolutely right. Men are more likely to be rejected if they approach a woman, where if the roles are reversed and a woman approaches a man, she's less likely to be rejected.
Yes. I feel like men
They're
like
right.
that. I think a woman shooting her shot is much more likely to end up with that man.
She's right.
If a girl approaches a guy and like makes the first move, usually it works out better.
Why would men want to approach women when they no longer have to worry about just being rejected, but also have to worry about being accused of harassment?
That's scary. I wouldn't want to be a man, honestly.
I feel bad for men.
Yeah.
So why do you think that women fear rejection when they're far less likely to be rejected?
Because women are just more sensitive. They have more...
Okay, don't hand me that. Don't. Oh, well, we're just more sensitive. That doesn't mean anything. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Sensitivity does not matter. Okay, when it comes to rejection, why is it that women can use the excuse of, well, I'm sensitive, whereas when a man has to go up and approach a woman, why is it okay? Do you think men don't have feelings too? Do you think men aren't sensitive? Like, dude, there's a lot of guys out there that do take certain things women say personally, right? You know, rejection can suck, dude. I get that. But to sit there and put all these expectations on top of men and say, well, men have to be the one to approach. Well, see, that's a little crazy to me, right? You guys can talk too. You guys can walk up to a guy that you're interested in and be like, hey, look, I just want to come up and compliment you. I just want to say you look very nice today. Like things like that, right? Believe it or not, I'll tell you something that's true. Men remember compliments. You want to know why? Because men don't get those. Okay. I can tell you a compliment that I got years ago. Okay. I had a girl come up to me. Okay. And she said, you look very nice today. She said, just the colors that you're wearing look great on you. Your outfit looks awesome. I just wanted to say you look very good. Right? To this day, I still remember that compliment because I haven't gotten one since. So Men remember those type of things. Men remember those type of compliments, right? We remember them because we don't get them.
More feelings into it. I feel like men, they're used to being rejected. They're used to being turned down, but women...
That's crazy. So women aren't used to being rejected. So it's okay for you guys not to approach, but men are used to it. So therefore, your logic there. Look, you said some okay stuff, but then you said some like outlandish, crazy, like, in my opinion, a little slightly moronic takes.
Women aren't. So when they get rejected, they like feel it more personally.
Why don't women
Men feel it personally too. Just saying.
start approaching men rather than complain how men approach them?
Because women like that, they have too much pride and too much ego into themselves, and they think a certain way of how a woman is supposed to be.
He's
when
right.
Really, women are supposed to be ladylike and strong.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you just say women are supposed to be ladylike? Yo, if a man said that, y'all, if a dude said that, his life would be over. Like, I'm talking, that dude's life would be over for making a comment like that.
And like grounded in themselves, and that's when the woman power really does show up, is being kind.
What advice would you give to the men that fear rejection?
Don't be scared, just shoot your shot. Maybe you have the chance, maybe don't. Rejection is just something to take in and something to learn from.
Why don't
But the issue is you're not taking into account the negative impacts that could happen because of that.
women just follow that same advice?
We got her good.
Shit. It's different. We have different emotions.
Another
Yeah, that brunette on the left back there, she would definitely be somebody that I would probably speak to. I'm not gonna lie.
Approach them is the belief that they are too pretty, and their beauty intimidates men. A notion that, in my opinion, is simply a form of coping.
Men are intimidated by beautiful girls.
Oh, yes. That's it. That men are intimidated by you. Yes. Keep telling yourself that, sweetheart. Yeah, that's definitely why men don't approach you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's because you're on this pedestal floating, right? You know, honestly, we need to normalize humbling people again, right? We need to normalize calling people not that attractive, okay? Unfortunately, we've normalized it with men. We need to now normalize it with women again. There are certain women that think that they are a 10 when they're not a 10. I've got news for you, sweetheart. Respectfully, you're not a bad-looking girl, but you're not a 10. You're a 5. You're a 5 at best. And don't get me wrong, I'm no Channing Tatum, okay? I'm no Channing Tatum. But I know my place. You don't know yours. And you're unfortunately spewing this garbage, thinking, and the sad part is women are going to eat this up. Oh, yes, queen, you're right. Yeah, it's because we're so beautiful. When no, it's not the case. It's men just don't approach because there are risks involved and there's not enough reward. Again, if the juice is not worth the squeeze, don't squeeze the juice.
The reason why you aren't getting approached is because you come off as a strong woman.
Oh my God. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Respectfully, I can tell you're a feminist. I can already tell by that statement you just made. You're a strong, independent queen. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I promise you nobody cares. I promise you a man does not care. Okay? A man doesn't care that you're strong. Respectfully, nobody cares. Okay? Nobody cares. Right? Nobody. Okay? Most men care whether or not you're a wife. Like whether or not you're wife material. Okay? Is this somebody who I could marry, who I could settle down with, possibly have kids with? Is this somebody who I could grow old with? Okay? That's what a majority of man's fantasy is. I know, shocking for women, right? You guys think you think it's all about sugar yams, okay? It's not about your sugar yams, okay? It's about, can we grow old with you? Unfortunately, that's the male fantasy, right? That's the average male fantasy. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad actors who lie about the average male fantasy. No, the average male fantasy is settling down, having a family, living the rest of their life in peace, and that's it. That's the average male fantasy. But unfortunately, women lie. Feminism lies.
They're ignoring you because you're beautiful, and it's intimidating.
And honestly, it's a compliment. It's a compliment that people are intimidated by your aura.
Okay, respectfully, I'm going to be blunt when I say this. You are not attractive. You are not that attractive. That makeup without that, you probably don't look that great. I'm sorry. I know it's going to come off mean, but I have to humble her. I have to humble her because she's talking about aura. You have no aura. You have no aura. I know other women are gonna come to your defense and say, yeah, Queen, you're gorgeous. But I'm gonna be blunt with you. You're single. I can tell. You're batshit crazy. Excuse my French. I can tell. And on top of all that, you believe in aura. Okay. Do you hear the words coming out of your mouth? A man is intimidated by your aura. Are you serious? Are you joking? Really? Really? Right. We need to normalize destroying fairy tale fantasies. Okay. You are living a delusion. Respectfully, you are delusional. I'm just going to be honest. You look like a psychopath. I'm just going to be honest.
By your looks, by probably even your personality.
So
yes, men are intimidated by your looks and your personality. Yes. Right. Okay. Right.
when you hold yourself to a certain standard, that boy knows that he's not going to be able to reach those standards.
Oh, you're talking about 6 feet tall, 6 figures, gotta look like Channing Tatum, minimum of 6 inches, even though that's completely out of a man's control. He's got to be willing to buy you anything you want. He's got to be willing to get you your Gucci bags, your expensive jewelry, your expensive makeup. He's got to be able to sacrifice his living earnings for you. Right. Yeah. Ladies, if there are ladies watching this video, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of an insight. Okay. Do not subscribe to this ideology right here. Men are allergic to this. Why? Because it makes our ass itch. Okay. The reason why it makes our ass itch is because this is the most ridiculous thing a woman could say. This right here. You tell men don't base your value on what you can do sexually, but yet here you are basing a man's value on things like his height, his paycheck, his wiener schnitzel size, and on top of all that, what he can do for you. But you guys tell men don't do the same thing. Hypocritical, right? I don't know. Little double standard there.
So therefore, he's not even going to approach you.
So instead of feeling down about the fact that you don't really get talked to at a party setting, or you rarely get attention from men on your Instagram stories, etc., it probably is that they are afraid to even talk to you.
You are not.
What this is coping. This is just coping, right? You are telling women that if you're not getting attention, it's because a man is intimidated by you. You are purposely inflating other women's egos. If a woman is not getting attention, there is a reason behind that, right? It most likely means the woman is either A, not easy to talk to, B, does not present herself in a way that is approachable by a man, or C, honestly, she might be approaching the wrong men who may not be interested. It's that simple, really.
Not the problem. You're not the problem. They're the problem.
So if you've...
Yes. Women are not the problem, guys. Women who make false accusations against men. And yeah, definitely not the issue, right? No way, guys. Guys. Come on. Men, come on. We can all agree that's not the issue, right? Surely that's not the problem.
Ever wondered, why don't I get approached? Why don't I get asked out? Why doesn't he ever text me first? It's probably because you're super pretty and attractive.
I hope you're not talking about yourself. Respectfully. I know that's mean, but I hope you're not talking about yourself. I respectfully hope you're not including yourself in that category.
So if you want to get any sort of attention, you may have to be the one to reach out to them first.
Just make the first move.
Yeah, absolutely do not do this. See, you're
Yeah, absolutely don't do this. Don't approach men first.
a baddie, okay?
Oh my god. Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. Boys, I knew there was going to be at least one clip in here. There had to be. Girl, you're a baddie. You don't need no man to approach you, girl. You're a baddie. Yeah, you're a little baddie, huh? You're a little baddie for your daddy. Like, this mindset right here is just stupid as shit. And excuse my French, but this has got to be the dumbest, and I mean the dumbest mindset. Do not follow this type of moronic, like just this idiocracy don't follow this. This is like something out of a science fiction novel on how delusional you can be in life. You're a baddie. Yeah, you're a little baddie for your daddy. You don't need no man. Like, just, oh God. I'm not even dating this girl, and I already feel like she's nagged me. Am I the only one that feels that way? I already feel like I've been nagged.
And do you know what happens when a man thinks that he can pull baddies? His audacity goes off the charts.
Who hurt you? Like who hurt you? Like, that's what this is. Somebody hurt you. Who hurt you? Let me guess. You gave a dude a chance. What probably happened is you gave a dude a chance that was only in it for your sugar yams. He got your sugar yams. He clapped it and then slapped it and then he left. And now here you are, stuck, realizing that you made the mistake, but instead you're blaming men. That's what it is. You hate men because you made a mistake. Not because men made a mistake. No. You made a mistake. You let him clap it and slap it. You let him clap, slap, bop it, and then leave, right? And then here you are, and you're mad about it. No. You don't get to blame men. Blame yourself.
So even if this does work and you guys end up together, he's going to think that he can treat you any type of way because he's...
Okay, no, a man is not going to think he can treat you any type of way if you set boundaries. What you're basically saying is you don't have boundaries. You didn't establish boundaries.
Going to assume that because he could pull you, he could pull another baddie.
And there you have it, guys. The ego of...
This is actually poison. This is poison to women's minds. It is actual snake venom. It is actually snake venom.
A woman at play. They won't make the first move because they fear it might boost a man's
This is the type of situation where Eve deceived Adam almost. Like, Eve lied to Adam and had him eat the apple, right? This is pretty much the same thing. This is the same thing. This is Eve lying, pretty much. Like, it is unbelievable how poisonous this mindset is.
Making him think he can attract more baddies. Here's the reality. Men will approach a woman if she's beautiful. The issue isn't her beauty. It's often her body language and cues.
Okay, look, this body language crap and these cues, guys, don't follow this shit. Okay, excuse my French. Don't follow this shit. Okay, if a woman cannot make it clear she's interested in you, that she has to move her body a specific way, or she has to give you cues instead of saying, "Hey, look, I just want you to know I'm interested." If she has to do all this other crap instead of just telling you that she's interested, yeah, my guy. We've got a word for that. It's called a waste of time.
Seem unapproachable. Now think about this. Claiming a rich man can't attract women because he's too rich doesn't make sense.
That does not make sense at all.
The same logic applies.
I have seen rich men, and I know rich guys. I could tell a story, but I'm not going to. I could tell a story, but I'm not going to. Okay? There's reasons why I'm not going to disclose said story, but my interactions around rich guys, they get whatever they want. They get whatever they want. That's all I can tell you. That's all the information I can disclose. They get whatever they want.
Here.
No one's intimidated by you. You're behaving in a way that suggests you're unapproachable. There's the difference.
I don't know if I'm tripping, but I feel like a lot of women try to be shady when they say things like men don't approach them because they know not to mess with them.
Guys will approach anyone from a 4 to a 10.
Why isn't the first thought never, maybe they just don't find me attractive enough to approach me?
No one is intimidated by you. You're unapproachable.
Yep.
Fix that.
And the reason why I think it's shady when women say this is because it kind of implies that they're better than the other women who get approached, or that the other women who get approached are easy and they can be messed with. And overall, it just always sounds so nasty. I don't know, like, and what be getting me is that they be saying this after their friends get approached or when they see somebody else get picked over them. And it's like, what are you trying to say?
Girls, if you see a guy you like at the club, gym, wherever, simple thing. Eye contact, smile. That's
not enough. Look, I said I was going to be unbiased and fair. Look, brother, no, that's not enough, man. Women have said just because they smile and look at you does not mean that they want you to approach. Sir, you're giving women the wrong thing to do, okay? You want a man to know you're interested? I'm going to tell you how. You want to know You want to know how to make it clear to a man you're interested? Compliment him. Compliment him. I'll tell you how. I had a woman approach me a couple years back, okay? She complimented my outfit, what I was dressed in, right? Which for men doesn't happen. It does not happen very often. She complimented my outfit. Not only that, but she said I looked very attractive with it. She said that it complimented me very well. Okay? To this day, I still remember that compliment. You want to know why? Because men don't get compliments. We don't get compliments. It never happens. It's rare. Compliments like that, we remember years later down the line. And look, here I am remembering it years down the line. Men don't get compliments. You want to get a man's attention? Compliment him. Hey, dude, I just want to let you know, man, like, you look really good today. You know? Or, like, if you can't approach a man like that, just say, hey, look, you know, I saw you. I just want to say that you're dressed very nicely today. Or, you know, like, let's say he plays baseball. We'll use that as a hypothetical. Say, hey, you're really good at what you do. Like, you know, I noticed that you really put in hard work. Like, things like that. Little things like that, believe it or not, actually matter. They do. They matter to men way more than you could understand.
That's going to tell a guy, I think you're attractive, or at least that gives a guy the...
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. Do not listen to this guy. No hate towards him, but he's wrong. Like, don't listen to him.
That's all you got.
Compliments matter more.
And girls, if you can't do that, buy a dog, die alone. That's really all I have to say to you.
I think what he really meant was to buy a cat. Setting that aside, the rise of the Me Too movement has led...
Oh man, this right here, this caused a lot of men to walk away from dating. The Me Too movement was really destructive towards men. It was actually really destructive towards men. Yeah. There was a lot of false claims that were made because of the Me Too, specifically on Twitter. Twitter was real bad with false claims. I remember Twitter was getting tore up by a lot of people because of the false claims that were against other people. Don't get me wrong, there were some claims that were that did go to court and they were proven to be true, but there was a lot of stuff on there that was garbage, man. Like, yeah, the Me Too movement had the reverse effect on men. It really did.
Many men to hesitate in making the first move out of fear of unintentionally crossing the line into harassment.
I think we need to normalize women approaching men more because one, women are not that nice, and two, there's no Me Too movement against women.
All my friends have
He's
noticed
right.
that the man has
He's right. There's no Me Too movement against women.
stopped making the first move. All my girlfriends are like, they're waiting. It's a third date, fourth date, a week later. He hasn't gone in for the kiss. He doesn't do any.
Because if he kisses you and you didn't like it, that's sexual assault. But just straight up, that's sexual assault. It's not harassment, it's assault. He has sexually assaulted you at that point. That's why.
touching or anything. And I've asked my dude friends that are single, and they are like, you don't know where a woman's gonna go with that story, and where I ain't touching nobody.
So you have a very...
Yep. Keep your hands to yourself. You guys said that, remember? Women said that. Keep your hands to yourself, right? Men do.
Difficult circle to square here,
Yeah.
right? You have women who still want to be approached. You have men who know that if they don't approach, nothing's going to happen.
Yep.
But if they do approach, they're scared of being seen as creepy. They're concerned that they're going to either upset this girl or that they're going to be part of some Me Too scandal, which isn't good.
And it sucks because the Me Too movement is so strong and so powerful for the people that need it, but it shouldn't ruin the maturity that we should have within intimacy and relationships.
But unfortunately, that maturity was already ruined by feminism, right? That maturity was already ruined, right? Because you have feminists who claim that men are inherently sexual deviants, that their whole, like, everything that goes on in a man's head is just about getting in between your sugar yams, right? Unfortunately, that maturity was ruined years ago by modern feminism. Don't get me wrong. Old school feminism had a point. It was about equality. Modern feminism has no purpose. It has no goal. Its only goal is to destroy men. That's the only goal. It's to destroy men and to devalue men. That's the only purpose of modern feminism. It's not about equality. And actually, if feminism was really truly still about equality, then riddle me this: why is it as a man I had to sign up for the draft at 18 years old? At 18 years old, I had to sign my life away. A document came in the mail and it said, it was a federal document. I had to sign that document saying that if they did a draft, I hereby agree to be drafted. I had to sign that at 18 years old. Why is it that women don't have to do that? You want to know why? Because there really isn't true equality. There really isn't true equality. There isn't. But unfortunately, if modern feminism was really still about equality, you would hear that everywhere. You would hear feminists protesting. There'd be protests in the street right now for that to be amended. There's not. Because it's not about equality.
relationship.
Lots of men are checking out of the world. And yeah,
Yep.
you know, we need to ask not just why aren't men opening up about this, what can they do to fix themselves, but structurally, how can we actually help men?
One way we could help men in the overall dating scene is by fostering open communication and creating a culture where both men and women feel comfortable expressing interest without fear of judgment or misinterpretation.
Now, I'm seeing posts on the internet of women saying men don't approach us anymore. Well, duh!
The reason why a lot of us guys are done with dating is because we're all honestly fed up with all the mixed answers that we've been seeing online.
And women are so confused as to why men don't approach them in public anymore is because we don't want to get a charge.
Yep.
We don't want you to pick up the phone halfway through the conversation and start calling the cops just because you got a hunch that little old Riley might grape you.
So a lot of us have reached a point that we're just like,
unfortunately, he's right.
Fuck it, man.
He's
Like,
right.
We're just done. And believe me, we don't want to. We would love to approach a woman without her feeling like we're creeps or something. And don't get me wrong either. There's a lot of guys that don't know how to approach women, or they make it seem very creepy, or they start stalking you and following you randomly. Guys like that put out a bad name for the good men.
I used to be able
Guys
to
like that should be buried under the prison. Just say it how it is, brother. Say it how it is.
approach women and talk smooth talk. It don't even fucking matter. I don't even do it on the internet. I don't even like slide into somebody's DMs. Fuck that. That is another way that somebody can just like screen record all of that and make it look like I was harassing.
That's why you keep receipts. I have receipts of any messages that I've ever DM'd somebody that I was like trying to get to know. I always take receipts. I have receipts. The reason why I always encourage everybody to keep receipts is because if anybody ever tries to lie on your name, you've got the receipts. It's that simple. It's actually that simple.
Them, right? What a time to be alive, y'all. God damn it.
It is a strange time to be a man, with shifting norms, unclear expectations, and ever-changing rules of dating and relationships. Many men have stopped approaching women, and some have even stopped proposing. To see why men are now saying no to marriage, click the video on your screen and let us...
So, first of all, great video. I'm going to link the video down below, but I'm just going to say this, man. There's more to the story than just men being scared to approach women. There's more to this story, right? It's just the damage that modern feminism has caused men, right? From, you know, being accused of being a harasser, a predator, like things like that, right? Like men get called crazy things for approaching women, right? And yes, there are women who call them a sexual predator. There are women that do refer to men as that. And like I said, a lot of men have just backed off, man. They've just said it's no longer worth it, dude. And, you know, it sucks. It really does. But unfortunately, you have to blame today's society. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you guys made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. Share this video around with all your friends. Also, check out the original video link down below. I will catch you guys later. See you in the next one. Peace.